From Hollywood, it's time now for Edmund O'Brien as...
Johnny Dollar.
Ralph waiting again, Johnny. I'm glad I caught you before you left.
Well, it's almost 2 hours before my plane leaves. What's on your mind?
Edmund O'Brien in another adventure of the man with the action-packed expense account. America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Home Office, Columbia All Risk Insurance Company, Hartford, Connecticut. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the Woodward, Manila matter. Expense account item 1, $1,850 airfare and incidentals between Hartford and Manila.
Mr. Dollar from the incoming PAL flight number 103. Will you go to the ticket office, please? Passenger Dollar from incoming PAL flight
My name is
number
Dollar.
103.
I was being paged.
Oh, yes. These gentlemen are waiting for you. This is Mr. Dollar, sir.
Oh, yes. I'm Floyd McDonald, Mr. Dollar, local manager of the Woodward Company.
Oh, how are you, sir?
And this is Irving Morgan, my assistant.
Morgan?
Glad to meet you.
I've made arrangements to have your luggage sent to your hotel if you'd like to do it that way. Irving and I can drive you right in.
Fine. It's darn nice of you.
Well, I know how it is. At least I don't want to bother with details after a long flight like that.
You'll give me your luggage check, sir?
Oh, yeah. I have them right here.
Thank you.
Well, that's all, I think. The car's right outside. We can give you the details of the burglary on the way in.
He told me very little that I didn't already know. The store he managed, one of Manila's largest hardware stores, was part of the American-owned Woodward chain. He had discovered the loss of the $75,000 himself Monday morning when he'd entered his office and found the safe open.
Naturally, I feel very badly about it. But everything that can be done is being done.
I don't know who the main office is blaming it on, but I think you'll find that Floyd and I were anything but careless. We've got 5 years without a loss behind us to prove that.
And it only takes one failure to ruin a success, Irving.
There's $75,000. Do I understand that it was all American currency?
No, it was made up of pesos, too. I stated the amount in dollars and cents when I reported the loss.
Were you in the habit of keeping as much money as that in your office safe?
No, it wasn't my idea, nor to my liking. It was because of a company rule. They were worried about conditions on this side of the Pacific and ordered us to stop banking our cash here. Instead of the usual yearly transfer of our money, it has been going to the States once a month.
They didn't save much this time. What about this clerk, Dan Blake?
Oh, don't get me started on him.
No, there's nothing proved yet, Irving.
What is it going to take to open your eyes, Floyd?
We don't agree on just what to think about Dan, Mr. Dollar. In spite of the circumstances, I find it almost impossible to believe that Dan would do this to me.
Could he have done it?
Of course he could. He had access to the office, and he could have memorized the combination of the safe.
Yes, that's true, but you can't forget that he was a very good friend of mine. He was like a son to me.
Was he in any trouble that you know of? Owe any money?
I hadn't heard of anything.
He's been out of sight 4 days now. What kind of a search has been made for him?
Well, I understand that the police have been working very hard. They class him as the chief suspect, too.
Yes, but you've got to realize that the Philippines aren't like the States, Dollar. It's not hard to drop out of sight here. It's a big world.
I know. I just watched a lot of it pass by. Well, as soon as my luggage arrives and I can get into a fresh suit, I'll contact the police, see what they've got. Expense account item 2, $350, including tip, a pitcher of gimlets delivered to my room. While I waited for my baggage to arrive, I relaxed in front of a window. My hotel was 2 blocks from Manila's Great Bay in a section called El Puerto. From my room, I could see enough of the Orient, the native craft working the harbor, to give even a common hardware store burglary an atmosphere of intrigue. Expense account item 3, 80 cents cab fare to police headquarters, where I was shunted into a side office to wait for the sergeant in charge of the Woodward case. He finally showed up.
Sergeant Malvar, you wait for me?
Yes, my name is Dollar.
I know. You come to talk of my burglary. You are a policeman?
Well, not quite. I've been hired by an insurance
wonder how they stay afloat. There's somebody on deck.
What do you want?
You Captain Kovar?
Yeah, that's right.
I want to talk to you about the body you brought in.
You the police?
No, this man is McDonald. Dan Blake worked for him.
Hey, Cobra, get a line on the shore boat. Okay, come on board. I'll put the ladder over for you. Watch it now. She's got quite a pitch today.
Go ahead.
Right.
Have you got it?
Yep. My name is Dollar, Captain. I'm working on the burglary for an insurance company.
Yeah, come on in the cabin. I'd like to learn about that burglary. All that police sergeant would tell me is that I got the money and I better give it to him. Well, that'll take some doing. Yeah, take the chairs, you two. I'll take the bunk here. Well, now, what's this all about?
Well, there's a little over $75,000 missing.
He didn't have anything when I picked him up.
He was in a dugout canoe?
That's right. Looked like a Moro craft to me. Oh, I see what you mean. No, it was empty. I looked it over.
How long did he live?
Oh, 15, 20 minutes. Maybe not that long. I don't think taking him aboard did any good for him, but I didn't know.
Did he say anything about the shooting?
Nothing that I could understand.
What did he say?
I told you I couldn't understand. Just some noise.
But you were able to understand his
You're
name.
beginning to sound like that police sergeant, mister, and I don't like it. I thought I was doing right when I brought that boy
Now,
in.
wait a minute, Captain.
I wish I'd left him there. Police right now are getting papers to search my ship, and now